This is Mikey.
And I'm Garrison Rifen. This is Cinema Debrief. Welcome back from New Year's. I hope you guys enjoyed the holidays. I'm Garrison Rifen here alongside Mikey. Welcome back to the Debrief. How are you doing today, Mike?
Man, I'm doing great. I took the day to catch up because I had not seen a movie since December 27th. And I was like, I feel like I'm falling behind. So my wife and kids are out of town. So I took the opportunity to catch up on a couple of movies in theaters. I'm going to also go see something tomorrow while they're still out of town. So I'm trying to get like the gears going, like getting that repetition. Not that I'm trying to hit some big, huge number of films. I ended up with 180 last year. So, which is a good number for me. I mean, it's not like a small number or whatever. So, but at the beginning of the year, sometimes it's a slow start because they don't offer us much in theaters. You get like the Oscar stuff expansion, which we're going to get some of that next weekend. But then you get the other stuff, like Primate and Greenland 2, and which I'm actually wanting to watch Greenland 2. I kind of do want to watch that movie.
Greenland was a surprise for me because I remember going to the theater around 2020 and around when theaters opened back up in 2020. And I went, man, that movie's going to be terrible. It's one of those stupid disaster movies.
Right.
And then I watched it and I went, that wasn't bad. It was actually decent. And Gerard Butler gives a good performance. And because of that, I'm going to see the sequel because I enjoyed the I don't have high hopes for it, and I'm hoping that that's just the formula for me for that series is I keep coming in with low expectations and going like, wow, that wasn't bad. So
and then we've got Primate too. So I mean, maybe we'll end up doing one of those movies next week, depending on which one of us, because we got to do something along with our off the shelf. So maybe we'll end up, I might go see both of those, but then I also kind of want to see the Bradley Cooper movie because that's getting expanded.
Yes. But it's not okay. So I don't have it here yet. We'll see if it comes.
It's supposed to expand. Like I don't have it in Birmingham yet either, but it's supposed to expand next weekend.
Okay.
So next weekend we are getting it in Birmingham. So I don't know if it'll be in Brunswick, but I mean it is. What's it called?
Is this thing on?
Is this thing on? Yeah. Not getting any Oscar buzz, unfortunately, but I don't know. I like to support Bradley Cooper and his films, so I'll go see it. He's also in it. He directed and he's also in it. And apparently he's not necessarily steals the movie, but he gives himself good material. So as the director, I guess you're allowed to do that. Give yourself good material. So
yeah, he should have done that with his last film.
Dude,
no, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I know, right? No, some people didn't. Yeah, you're right. Some people didn't like that. I am excited about your off the shelf pick that you had this week because I was pumped up to hear that you had not seen this movie before. So let's dive in.
Okay, dive. All right.
You see what I did there?
So The Abyss from 1989. I bought this really because, and I talked about this on the podcast last week, but The Abyss has sat on my dad's movie shelf for years, and it's always been like that. I've heard of it's a good movie that you really need to watch a special edition. And about, 5-6 years ago, I took the special edition DVD and I popped it in a player on a 100-inch screen. And it was pillar boxed, meaning that there was a box all around the picture, and it was a very old DVD. It came out in the 90s, and that is watchable on certain things. It's not watchable on a 100-inch screen. So I kind of turned the movie off very early on. I was like, I'm not going to watch it this way. And I said, at some point, they're going to do a restoration of this film, and it'll be out in HD. And thankfully, it came out in 4K in 2024.
Yes.
So I picked up the 4K pretty early on after it came out, and it's been sitting on my shelf since then. It's got a theatrical and it's got a special edition. We're specifically talking about the special edition.
Well, let me just say.
Okay.
So I put in the 4K disc, and I wasn't thinking. I just let it play. I'm just
Mhm.
like, just let. So about halfway through, I'm like, oh crap, I don't think I selected the special edition. So I end up watching this theatrical cut,
Well,
which
that's interesting.
it's still great.
We
But
can we can compare notes.
yeah, I ended up by accident, because I wasn't gonna like stop it and then restart, because it was in the groove. Once you're in the groove, you
Yeah,
don't want to like stop the film, and
I get what you're saying.
so I did not watch the special edition, which I believe is almost 20 minutes longer than.
31 minutes
Is it
longer.
31 minutes longer? That's quite a bit
And
longer than.
there's a good website out there called moviecensorship.com. You can go to it and
Mhm.
find all kinds of films. But for The Abyss, they've had a whole breakdown there since '09
Okay.
on that website. And if you look at the website, they've got a breakdown of difference in times between the two versions.
Interesting.
And so it's 29 minutes and 37 seconds of actual different scenes
Okay.
between the theatrical version and the special edition. But there's
Okay.
actually a difference between the special edition and the theatrical as well, of 34 seconds of different shots between the two. So,
Weird.
yeah.
That's very interesting. Yeah, so I know that in the past I have watched the special edition, but it's been so long ago that I watched the special edition, I
Mhm.
can't necessarily recall what they changed. Wasn't the ending completely different?
So I don't know if the ending was completely different because I haven't watched the theatrical
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay.
But my understanding is it gets more into kind of like the this World War III and Russia and America going at it kind of things
Oh,
in the
okay.
special edition.
Okay, so maybe the ending's not different then. It sounds like they just focus more on, because they don't really focus on that at all in the theatrical cut.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. Okay, cool. Well,
I'm sure they all pop up at the ship with the ship at the end.
Yeah. Yes,
So,
that's correct. That's
okay.
exactly right. Which I call, and I call it lovingly this, I call it James Cameron's attempt at a Spielbergian ending.
This film kind of felt to me like his attempt at something like Close Encounters.
Yeah, exactly. Like there was much more. Not that there's not hope in like the Avatar films per se,
No.
but a lot of times Cameron doesn't have like this feel good like ending in this way. This felt very Spielbergian to me.
I totally agree with you in that. I was thinking that when I was watching the ending, I was going, okay, so these aliens have come to this planet and they want to help us out.
Right.
Whereas in Avatar, the aliens come to the planet and want to strip the resources dry and drain.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know, the humans are the aliens.
The humans are the aliens. Yeah, in that case.
Not to us, but to the Na'vi, they are.
Yeah. I mean, and he always has like the good guys always win, but not in this. Just had and Silvestri's score plays that up.
Yes,
plays that up big time.
That might be my favorite part of the film was Sylvester. I was going, I really like this score. There's at times, like when you first see the water, getting into the film, when you first see the water VFX and it's crawling through the ship and you get the water cam, which I think is cool.
Yeah.
There's like this childlike wonder score that starts playing over. That felt kind of Spielbergian to me too.
Yeah. No,
there aren't children in these scenes, but there's this childlike kind of, hook kind of score going on in the background. And Silvestri, I think, knocked that out of the park.
He did great and did a really good job of when there didn't need to be a score or the score needed to be undertoned. He did a great job of that. Like just you could hear the score in the background a little bit, but like a lot of times whenever the military was on the screen, there wasn't much of a score. It was real downplayed. Whenever Michael Biehn and his crew were doing their thing. And obviously when there was moments of peril, the score would increase in volume. And then whenever the aliens were there, you would get the whimsical, kind of, for lack of a better terms, John Williams Spielbergian feel to it. Yeah.
When I watched it, I was just sitting there watching the film and going, wait a minute, this was made in 1989.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things where, even if I don't love Cameron's films, all that, a ton of them, I like a lot of them. And I really respect that he continues to try to push the boundary of cinema and move the medium forward in a lot of different ways. And this is another way of him trying to do that. This is his first big experiment with filming with water, which he's continued on with. You get Titanic, which is not a ton of tankness, as much as this.
There's some at the beginning,
but then
And
you
the
get
end.
Avatar, which is you get tons of tank at that point.
All that, yeah.
And
his obsession with submersibles and just
Yep.
that whole world, because he's done like 2 or 3 documentaries about him getting in a submersible and going down to like the Titanic wreckage, and then he's done some other thing. Like, he's obsessed with all of that.
He is and you can go around and watch some interviews with him. He knows a lot about that technology. Like, he is actually probably pretty close to an expert on some of that stuff.
Yeah.
And he knew a lot of those people that were involved with the Titan expedition that blew up a year or 2 ago now. And knew all the problems with what happened there and what they were doing, and you see some of the effects of that decompression with things blowing up and underwater in this.
Right. Yeah. Michael Biehn blowing up.
Yep. Yeah.
There was a couple of sections of the film where I'm like, I really need to call up Dr. Earl and ask him if any of this could actually happen. Like when Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio's character died, basically, and they brought her back.
By the way,
I just don't.
If I can get to one criticism, that scene, at least in the special edition, is like 6 or 7 minutes long.
It's the same in theatrical. It's exactly the same. It's too long.
Let's speed up the reviving.
Yeah. It's like she dies and they give up, and then he's like, no, and he starts back on her, and it's just like, okay, that was a little much. It was just a little. I feel
like we could have cleaned that up a little bit.
I felt the same way. And then also the other thing with the whole liquid in your lungs, that whole thing, I'm like, there must be some science behind that, or Cameron would not have put that in.
Yes.
But the one line that really bothered me about it is like, it's okay, you're this way in the womb, so you can handle liquid. And I'm like, come on, guys, come on. But I'm sure, I didn't look into it, but I'm sure there's some science behind it.
I did minuscule research, but there is some thought that the science could potentially work there, but I don't know how long it could help keep you alive. Probably not nearly as long as they're able to do it in this movie.
No.
And to be honest with you, obviously in this movie, it's just like water or whatever that's in their thing. But
well, it looked like it was pink hued though.
Yeah, it was like dyed in some way. Yeah. But when I saw that rat being drowned, I looked up. I was like, did a rat die during the filming of The Abyss?
Well,
and I got my answer, which was that they used 5 different rats or mice, whatever it was, for that scene. So none of them died.
None of them died. Okay, good.
There was something that said that Cameron potentially did CPR for one of them. I don't know if I believe that.
Gosh.
That sounds a bit dramatic.
So that's the one. Like, Cameron does have these tropes, and he likes to have these quirky characters in his film. Mm-hmm. And to have a guy that's an oil rig guy have a pet rat under the ocean, it's just, I don't know. It's so like very end of 80s, early 90s. Like, it just has a lot of that. This movie has a lot of that feeling. Really great character actors throughout that you recognize that were in all of those type of movies in the 80s and 90s. And then, of course, we referenced Michael Biehn. Like, he is the guy that always plays the perfect military-based bad guy. Like, he has that type of character down pat. Like, he did the same thing in The Rock. He's been in a bunch of movies where he is just the evil military guy. Now, I think that the difference in this film compared to some of the other ones is he did have maybe some underwater tremor issues. So the character was going through some medical stuff at the same time, but it enhanced his evilness is basically what it did. But I love the character. I think the character is so great. It's just Cameron, his screenplays for the most part are generally pretty great with dialogue when it comes to all those henchmen and stuff like that. I mean, they say some crazy things that are just really fun. I mean, just really fun late 80s, early 90s type stuff.
Yeah, there is with his character specifically. I really liked the knife bar fight.
Oh yeah,
In the moon pool room between him and
with the plug thing swinging back and forth, or
yeah,
just the paraphernalia swinging back and forth, and yeah, shot like so many movies of that era. I mean, it
hmm
just in that way. Yeah, there was some great stuff in this. Not that Ed Harris would have been able to know how to fight that well. Because he's just an oil rig guy. I
yeah.
mean, he's not really a military guy, but yeah, that was a great scene. There's a lot of great classic scenes in this movie.
Well, he got lucky that he was able to get the element of surprise with there being no bullets, and then he was just able to swing on them immediately.
So
But
the element that was used with the I'll just call it the water snake thing. That looks like it was a continuation of or an anticipation of T2. So he was starting to play with that morphing type CG, which he really capitalizes on a lot in T2. But this was kind of the first, building blocks towards that. Like you said, I mean, he was always one to try and push, very much like George Lucas. He wanted to push like forward whatever technology he could, and he utilized as much as he possibly could, but also knew his limitations. Like he knew what he couldn't do, and so he didn't try and push it so far where the stuff looked bad. Because I thought it looked good.
Yeah, the movie looks really. It's aged pretty decently.
I think so too.
You've got some stop motion stuff, you've got some CG stuff,
right?
You've got some optical stuff that they're doing. I thought it looked pretty good for a 1989 movie. It probably would have looked good in 1999, to be honest with you.
So I'm assuming you watched the 4K version.
I actually didn't.
Oh, you did not? Okay.
I watched it in HD.
So the 4K, I would say the one problem with 4K with this particular type of film is that if that CG isn't like perfect, it almost looks too sharp when they upgrade it to 4K.
Yeah.
And there was a little bit of that, like, so I did watch it. Now my 4K TV isn't like state of the art 4K TV. It's an older one. It doesn't even have HR10 plus. I don't think. I don't even
HDR10 plus.
HDR, yeah. So it's lower than that. And so sometimes that hurts the presentation a bit on my TV, but that's why like old black and white films look so great in 4K, because there's no like elements of CG that you have to worry about. They're really just taking the film negative and upgrading it, to high def. And when you do that, when there's CG elements, sometimes it can look a little rough, which is why I think James Cameron fought for so long to not release his films in 4K. I mean, the infamous T2 4K disc that's out there that people hate.
Yeah. He nuked the grain on that. That's what happened.
And he did that on the Abyss too. He nuked the grain completely.
Yes. So getting into the technical side of that, they released 3 of these together. It was The Abyss, Aliens, and True Lies. And they all
thought
used
Titanic also. Maybe not. Maybe that was a little after.
These were specifically the ones put out by was it Paramount, I guess? Well, this is 20th Century Fox.
Yeah, 20. These are all the Fox ones. Yeah.
Yes. So they were all put out together, and then Titanic was put out kind of separately. It happened, I think, before the other ones.
Yeah, I think you're right.
But these use and Titanic may have as well. I haven't done as much research on that one, but they use the same process that T2 did. But each one kind of gets more refined. So True Lies is probably the worst. It's super waxy looking because they nuke the grain, and everyone looks super fake, and the backgrounds look awful because the AI is bringing them to the foreground sometimes. And I don't know how you release that, honestly. Aliens looks better, and The Abyss also looks better. Those are kind of refined versions of what they were doing before. Where yes, they got rid of the grain, which I don't love. Keep some grain. To me, that's film. It's film.
I wish you would. I wish they would have. Yeah.
But reducing it some is whatever to me. But the film still looked fine on this one. There wasn't something that looked just totally off about the film to me.
Yeah, no, it didn't look off. It's just I felt like you could notice some of the stop motion a little bit more.
Yeah,
and
I
so,
actually kind of liked the claw specifically.
the claw.
When you noticed that it was like jerking around like it was stop motion.
You could tell. And then the CG aliens were just that's what shooting on film did back in the day. It covered up for the imperfections of that technology at the time.
Yeah.
And when you try and enhance that to 4K, you're losing that cover up basically. So you can tell, oh, this is early technology. This is, and it's fine. It doesn't ruin the movie, but
when you released to cinemas, you sent what were called, release prints. And release prints were usually 4th generation. So they'd be original camera negative, inner positive. Those are your first 2 generations. Yeah. Then you get down to the release print being the 4th generation print. So that at that point, things like wires that could be more visible on a 2nd or 1st generation print will usually be degraded. And like you say, the effects will be degraded enough that it all kind of blends and works together. And now that we're in such a modern age where you get 4K TVs, we can develop 8K at this point if we want to, but how, do people really want to invest in that infrastructure?
Only John Woo does.
Yeah, he wants to do like 40 or 60 frames, whatever.
Yeah, he wants to do like crazy stuff.
Yeah, which is what Jim does now too. James Cameron. Avatar also displays at 60 frames, I think, in cinemas that allow it.
Yeah,
I'm not interested in that personally.
I'm not either. High frame rate, I'm not either.
Yeah, I don't think it looks good on film personally, but yeah, that's a part of kind of moving the medium forward. Those are guys trying to figure out how can we try to revolutionize things, and sometimes you miss on that stuff, in my opinion. But
yeah, no, I don't mind taking the swing. Because you've got to advance the technology. I don't necessarily pay attention enough, but I think a lot of people that were saying during Fire and Ash, they could tell when the high frame rate would switch back and forth. And
so here's the interesting thing about that one, and I'm not going to go too hardcore on that, but if it was a high frame rate showing, the entire showing was high frame rate. But what they did for the 24 frame sections was they just doubled up the frames, so you didn't notice it as much. But then when it switched to the high frame rate, you really notice it. There really needs to be, I think, there does need to be a transition because you have to notice it, kind of like IMAX,
Yeah, you want to notice it when it opens. Yeah, you're right.
But you don't want it to be so distracting it takes away from things. There's a middle ground to that kind of thing.
Luckily, I'm not trained, or I have not trained myself to look for that type of stuff. So if our IMAX was doing that, I don't recall, but I know a lot of people online were saying that they noticed it and it was distracting.
Yeah, I heard the same thing.
But that's interesting because I don't recall being distracted by that particular thing. But anyways, back to the Abyss. Sorry. Rabbit trails. We go on these a lot.
When you talk about the water in his suit, I kind of want to know how they filmed the sequence where he's got the bubbles coming out of his nose constantly. I'm like, how many takes did that take where they're having to constantly put him in water and then take him out? And
apparently this was a brutal shoot. In general.
I believe it.
Yeah, just none of the actors were having a good time, basically, just because they were wet the whole time.
You look at things like Waterworld, and working with water was never fun.
Yeah.
And it seems like James Cameron has tried to conquer that beast since then.
Yes, he has.
Because everyone else has had a great time with, I think, the Avatar films when they do a lot of their water stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all on a set. It's like a little bit different than, I think it's much more insular and smaller, like the way he's been able to create his Lightning Storm Studios is a little bit different than it was probably in the 80s.
Well, and for this, I don't know if you know this, but they couldn't use Hollywood tanks for this.
Oh.
So they actually went out and found a guy who owned a nuclear plant that was being built, but it hadn't fully been built.
Yeah.
And he was going to transform it into a studio space. And they were like, oh, we've got this gigantic tanks that were supposed to be used. Why don't you use these? And James Cameron was like, holy crap, these things are ginormous.
Mm-hmm.
And he and the guy he had hired from the deep or whatever, shark movie that he had thought was really shot well
Yeah.
underwater. They were both like, yes, this will work. We have a lot of space to work with in here, unlike the normal Hollywood tanks.
Wow. I can't
And this
imagine.
is the film I also think where they got kind of the, covering up the water to make it seem like they're deeper.
Yeah.
The little black balls and all that they
Right.
use.
Right. No, I think so too. Well, in general, I mean, did you enjoy the ride, or did you feel like, I mean, I'd be interested to hear about the special edition stuff because it's been a very long time since I've seen that stuff. So
I enjoyed it. It's kind of it's almost a little saccharine at the end.
yeah.
Where it's like, oh, humans, stop fighting with each other. We saved you because this one human was good.
Right.
And
They show them do they show them a film or something?
yeah,
Or
yeah,
that's right. I remember that now.
yeah. That's like a 5-minute sequence, not in the theatrical. I did look that up.
Yes. Okay. It's coming back to me what it was now. Yeah. Be nice to everyone.
Yeah, and they're about to like tsunami cities basically, and then they bring it back, and
yeah.
He's like, you stopped it? Why? And they were like, because you went down and undid the bomb and knew that you were going to die and said, I love you to your wife. And so I guess they saw the good in humanity at that point. I enjoyed this movie. And like you said, really, it's kind of the Spielberg elements to me that made me kind of really enjoy what I was watching. It's interesting because when I was watching this, I know the future projects he wants to do, like Ghosts of Hiroshima, which is a film about the fear of nuclear war. I feel like he's kind of made his fear of nuclear war film with this film. If you watch the special edition, at least, it's all about the nukes and USA and Russia going to war and potentially nuking each other and the entire planet, blah blah, and mass casualties. But I also thought it was so interesting because it's such a pro-marriage movie.
Yeah. In the end, it is. You're right.
Yeah. These two people who are on the brink of divorce get brought, very close together by the end of the movie. And from a guy who's been divorced 3 times, I don't know where he was at this point, but it was just kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I'm sure he was married during this film. But I did enjoy that aspect of the film. The part to me, when we get back to it, it's really all about this being a much more, like you say, yes, the good guys win in Avatar, but to me, this is a much more optimistic film than a lot of those Avatar films are.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed that. I'm not saying I love Marty Supreme last week, and I do think that has a more optimistic ending than Uncut Gems, but I don't need the movie to be optimistic.
Yeah.
But in this case, I thought it was such a change of pace for Jim Cameron. It was kind of refreshing watching a movie where it felt so optimistic about things.
Yeah, I mean, because obviously all that we'd seen from him before this was Aliens, Terminator, all very like grim. The outcome will not be good.
Yeah. And the thing is, he makes another optimistic movie, which I think is his best movie, and this is not controversial to say, but T2.
In 92. Or is that
it's
91?
Not super duper optimistic, but it's a little more optimistic.
A little more. Yeah, exactly.
Terminator.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't work with, what's interesting about The Abyss is there's no like kid representation. Like in a couple of his movies that he had in the 90s, a kid was heavily involved, like as in the cast. This is just more of the military needing to accomplish a mission. The only way that they can accomplish this mission is if they utilize this oil crew that's at the bottom of the ocean. And so there's a lot of heads that butt constantly in this movie. And even at the beginning, when you find out that the 2 main characters are currently married, maybe going through or about to go through the process of divorce. I mean, they were not nice to each other at the beginning, but like you said, as the film progresses, because of obviously the events that are unfurling, they get closer again. I mean, in their relationship, and it does end up being very optimistic just as far as the human race in general.
Yeah.
because you have it from the aliens' perspective,
Mm-hmm.
that from their perspective, they're like, the human race has no hope.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna, like, just let them go at it.
Yeah.
But through the acts of one person, they see that perhaps it's more of a gray area, which is the truth of the matter.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the human nature is more of a gray area. I mean, there's going to be evil, there's going to be really good, and there's going to be mostly gray in between that. I mean,
Yes.
there's not it's not as cut and dry, and Cameron knows that, and so he does that well. I mean, he has all his characters are flawed in different ways. I mean, maybe not necessarily some of the henchmen on both sides. I'd say like the oil rig guys; those are just pretty standard, like secondary characters that Cameron loves to have, just like really big burly guys and comic relief. I mean, he knows in his scripts that he needs to have some comic relief every once in a while in the super serious moments, and that's what he uses his ancillary characters for, and he does it better than I think really anybody, in all honesty. I mean, he has lost his way a bit with the Avatar films because they're so fantastical.
Yeah.
You can't, it's difficult to have personalities within those characters that he's created that the audience can sort of latch onto, whereas humans, you can latch onto the humans.
Yeah.
And I think that's why
sitting through this, I was just reminded of like how on the edge of my seat I was the whole time, because I'm like, I don't want these people to die. I like these people.
Yeah.
There's so much tension built throughout this, and part of that, you connect to them because they're human. You understand these people, they're flawed. But yeah, when you get to the Avatar films, I don't have that same feeling.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the most recent Avatar more than I've enjoyed the other ones.
I'm with you on that.
I'm with you. But I don't connect to the characters like you say.
Except for like maybe Quaritch or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because he still has some human traits about him. Like his character, even though he's a Na'vi, he still has very like human traits. And so you can sort of, he has humor. He's like, he acts sort of normal. Whereas it seems like most of the Na'vi do not act normal. They're just like really one cut type personalities. It's hard to really care about any of them. That's the problem I've had through all of those Avatar films. I don't care about what happens to any of them except for maybe Jake and Quaritch, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's because they're human.
Even I think you really care about Jake in the first film.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I think since then, and since removal and disconnection from his body, I don't know how much. It's nice to see him, but I don't feel that connection there.
The argument ends up always being, and I forget Jai Courtney. No, not Jai Courtney. What's the guy's name that plays
Sam Worthington?
Worthington. His argument always in all these interviews that he's been doing is that you can really see the actor through the process of the motion capture. And no, you really can't. It's not the same. I'm sorry, Sam, but it's not the same.
It's not the same. These films are the closest anyone's ever gotten, but it's not the same. I agree.
It's not. It's just not to me. I mean, I don't know. I don't know that they can say that all they want, but it's really.
We'll be old men yelling at clouds, maybe. But
I will be. I will be. Yeah, exactly. Because I'm sure that technology will continue to be what Cameron uses in his movies. But I don't know. Anyways, back to the Abyss. Sorry again with the tangents, but I mean it's James Cameron related because at some point he did. I feel like he lost his way a bit, and I do hope he comes back more to the character work because that was what he was always really good at in all of his movies prior to Avatar. He was really great at character work. True Lies, really great characters throughout. Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's something that he excelled at, and then all of a sudden he got almost too distracted by the technology, I think.
And I get what you're saying.
And lost the ability to write the characters like he used to. So anyways.
I actually would be interested in seeing his Ghost of Hiroshima movie not because I need another Hiroshima movie necessarily.
Well, and this one will be from the perspective of the Japanese, apparently.
Yeah, well, of course. But it'll be perspective of humans. There can be some real emotion there that you can work with. Yeah,
hopefully.
getting
Hopefully
back
that's what he's
to kind of normal
yeah,
filmmaking in a way, but I'm sure he's going to try to push it forward in some way,
he
which is
will.
good.
He will. I mean, he'll use the volume. He'll use the sound stage that he has at Lightstorm. I mean, he
Mhm.
utilizes the volume a ton, which I don't think people realized that before the interviews for Fire and Ash, because he mentioned the volume a lot in all those interviews.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I don't think people realized he was using that technology.
the interesting thing about the difference between something like The Abyss, where you've got to go out, plan it, and shoot it, and
Mm-hmm.
something like Avatar, where you're writing a script, you're planning it, but I mean, Cameron talks about in post, they build the shots and the framing and all that stuff in post itself. Like, yes, they shoot the actors for reference, but the actual camera movements and how things are going to look is all actually built in post because it's all CGI. So
Yeah.
I'd be interested to see him make a film that doesn't do that as much.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. But it is interesting, like if you think about his most recent film and this film, you've got two characters that are very similar
Okay.
in the Michael Biehn character and Quaritch. Just
Yeah.
military based. The Michael Biehn character, because he's also suffering from whatever medical issue he's suffering from, doesn't
Yeah.
get to have that many like humorous moments. But historically, Cameron has even had some of his villains have like somewhat of a sense of humor about them. But Michael Bihn's character was just slowly devolving, and suffering through this movie, and it never really. He was more of a cut and dry villain, whereas like with Quaritch, yeah, he's a villain, but he also has a sense of humor. He also wants to have a relationship with a Navi. I mean, it's a complicated guy.
Yeah.
But this Michael Biehn character in The Abyss is a bit more straightforward. But what Michael Biehn does so well is just that evilness. He's just the master at that. I mean, he's so good at that in The Abyss that where really like we would have thought that maybe the antagonists would have been the aliens. Traditionally, like that's what Cameron had worked with mostly, is aliens kind of being the antagonists.
Yeah.
And the aliens in this one are more of like the neutral party, just watching the humans bicker amongst each other.
Well, and the aliens before are not, well, I don't know if I should call them unintelligent, but they don't create societies that we've seen on the level of the aliens you see in The Abyss.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that
I mean, I'm not calling xenomorphs dumb, but
yeah, no, you're right. There's a queen though. I mean, so there is some intelligence there with the xenomorphs, but I mean,
yeah, but they're not.
But
I see what
you're saying.
Almost like utopian society underwater.
No, you're
basically.
right. Yeah, and I like the swerve of having the aliens be sea dwellers. That's a cool thing. Probably hadn't happened much. I'm trying to think of if there had been any underwater alien movie before The Abyss. I'm sure there was something, but I can't think of anything off the top of my head. I can't remember when Leviathan came out. That was kind of an underwater alien situation. But yeah, I mean, it was just a unique way to show your alien race being an underwater dweller versus what more traditional alien movies were.
I gave it a 7 out of 10.
Nice. Yeah,
I quite enjoyed it. I
think I gave it a 3.5 out of 5, so that's about a 7 out of 10. Yeah, I mean that's close to it. I mean it's yeah, I mean it's a class. I would call it a classic. I mean it's one that I think everybody needs to see. Like if you haven't seen The Abyss, it's just one of those a bucket list type movie. I mean, I think everybody needs to see it at least one time. It doesn't have to be one that you rewatch all the time, because I don't. I mean, I've seen it probably, I guess, in total 6 times now, which that's not as many as Star Wars, but it's
not Star Wars, but it's decent. At some point I'm going to go back and maybe not for the pod, but for myself, I just like looking at different cuts of films. What were the choices made here? Even if it's a studio choice, what was the choice made here? Why did they do it? What was removed? What context is then removed from that? Or does it make the film better because it's a faster paced film? I mean, it can go either way for me. I don't always go on the side of public opinion popular
Yeah,
public opinion.
popular
So,
public. I would say that just based upon what I'm remembering now, based upon what you said was in the special edition, I think
mhm,
the theatrical was probably the cut that was a bit faster paced, a bit tighter,
mhm.
more action packed, but left also time at the end for what went down with the aliens. They just didn't add like the whole subplot
Yeah.
of the
I've
Russian, and
just
yeah,
I've just heard it confused people at the time because they cut so much
yeah,
right at the end,
yeah.
specifically with the aliens, that there were people kind of like, "What happened?" You know?
Right. Yeah, exactly. Well, I've got in my hand here. I've got
Okay.
my off the shelf pick for next week. I want to
Oh,
apologize to not only my co-host Garrison, but also the listener. This is one you're going to have to rent or find in another way.
okay.
I won't, whatever nefarious way you want to find movies, you're welcome to find them. But I am honoring the shelf gods and continuing to go in order. This is an Arrow release. It's AV 168, so it's early in their release schedule from 1973, The Day of the Jackal.
Okay.
I
Okay.
have never seen it.
I haven't either.
Obviously, I guess in 2024, really
Yep.
popular show on Peacock, The Day of the
Mhm.
Jackal. Actually, a well-reviewed show too, not just popular with people who watched it, but critically acclaimed as well,
Yeah, I've
which
heard good
is
things.
somewhat rare for Peacock to have a critically acclaimed show on it. But this is the original 1973, directed by a guy named Fred Zimmerman. But it's the simple premise is that there is an assassin that gets in over his head. I don't want to necessarily spoil anything. I've never seen it either, though. So this was one of those, as we've discussed, blind buys because it was on sale on Arrow's website. I think I I have so many movies now I can't remember the circumstances of when I bought them, but I
Mhm.
would not have paid full price for this. I can tell you that. So I definitely got it on sale. But I've been wanting to watch this, so I'm glad that we have this off the shelf segment, and that'll be our movie for next week. I'm
Awesome.
very
Uh,
excited about it.
I'm excited about that too. It's based on a novel.
Yep.
There was actually a remake in '97 with Bruce Willis and Richard Gere, which is,
Oh, just called Jackal. Yeah, you're right.
yeah.
Yeah, that I
So,
have seen. It's very Americanized. Like this, I think has more of a European tilt to it because the guy that's the assassin is French.
okay.
So it's got a more European feel than
Well, and the
obviously the
novel
British
is
original.
a British novel, so
Yeah,
all
it's
right.
it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it. Good spy film, I think.
Well, speaking of things we're looking forward to,
Yes.
let's
Oh my
get to
goodness.
our most anticipated films of 2026.
Yeah, and I went a little further on this than I thought I was going to.
I'll tell you, I highlighted like 10 films out of 36 that
Okay. Okay. Well, okay. If we're saying that, I did highlight my four like really most anticipated, but the way I broke it down is I did like top tier, mid tier, and bottom tier.
Okay.
Now, the way that I always, and this is just me personally, the way that I
Mm,
always look at movies that are coming out in whatever year is directors that I love. I always start there. So if
mhm.
there is a director that I have liked their work beforehand, I make sure and put on my calendar or put on, my watch list on Letterboxd. Oh, this director that has done good work in the past has a new film coming out. I'm anticipating seeing that. Um, so that's kind of how I did it. And then I also have like a wild card section, which is I don't know what these are going to be. I was going to kind of start with my wild cards and then maybe just highlight a couple from my bottom tier, a couple from my mid tier, top tier, and then the four that I for sure am highly anticipating. So maybe I'll end up with like 10 or 15 that we can talk about that
Okay.
are, and maybe there won't be too much overlap. But to start with my wild card, just based upon preview alone, The Sheep Detectives.
Yes.
Um,
I agree. I'll just go in with you. I'll go after you.
yeah, directed by Kyle Balda. So I'm not familiar with his work at all. I did not take the time to look and see what he had done before this, but this one stars Hugh Jackman as a sheep herder. It looks like he's a sheep herder,
Hmm.
who, and it's not spoiler because this is in the trailer, but he gets murdered. and his sheep, a la Babe, Pig in the City, or any other talking animal movies. This is live action. The animals are talking amongst themselves, trying to figure out who the murderer is. This is based on a popular book, apparently.
Yep.
Not a huge reader, but it is based on a book. Very much anticipating this one. The preview looked great.
It looks so cute.
Yeah, it does.
Which is weird. I guess it's weird to say that about a murder mystery, but it does look so cute. To the point that I showed my parents and they loved it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I'm seeing this on release. I don't know if I'm seeing it with them, but I'm seeing it on release. Amazon MGM's putting it out. I love that they're putting it out in theaters.
Yes. And they
Loved
they committed to that. They said that they're going to have a lot of theatrical releases based upon their slate. I can see that they're maybe not going to have the best year. I don't know that their films that they've got coming out, other than maybe one or two, are going to be knock out of the ballpark hits. But I'm glad that they're committing to releasing them theatrically rather than putting them directly on Prime. I like that. So I had two other wild cards.
Okay.
That have no release date per se, but from my research, they are going to come out at some point in 2026. The first one, I don't know what it's going to be, but it's called Ebenezer: A Christmas Carol, directed by Ty West. And Johnny Depp is back, apparently. Johnny Depp is going to be playing Ebenezer. It'll be interesting to see him in an American film, because it has been many years since this whole dust up that he had with What's-Her-Face, that he's released like a straight up Hollywood American. Now Ty West might not be like traditional Hollywood anyways, but I mean, it'll get a release at some point. Don't know much about it. The other one, and I'm just, throwing him a bone more than anything, but The Last Photograph, directed by Zack Snyder. Just to throw the guy a bone. I don't know where this is releasing. He had a relationship with Netflix for a while, but I don't think this is a Netflix film.
It's independent right now, so it's got to be sold to somebody.
So both of those are maybe coming out in 2026. We'll see. They're both I think in the can, or at least The Last Photograph's in the can. I don't know about Ebenezer, but I know that he's ready. Did you have any other wild cards? The concept of a wild card that you don't know much about, but you're interested.
Here's how I put my list together.
Okay.
Just so I can, this is a way of answering that question.
Yeah, exactly.
I every year put my list together of 2026 films by going to the American Films in 2026 Wikipedia page. And so I only list things that have dates as of the first of the year.
Okay.
So things can be added to my watch list over time, but as of the beginning of the year, it's just whatever's got dates.
You want to know, we know that these movies are for sure coming out, even though there is a list of movies out there that will probably come out in 2026, but don't have release dates yet.
Yes. Yeah. Because those are hard to track. It
is. You're right.
It's hard to get a complete list of those.
Yeah.
And if it were something like Nolan and we didn't know exactly, but we thought it might be that year, I'd probably go out of my way to do that. But otherwise, that's why I don't have any wild cards. But I do have with my first one.
Go for it.
Good luck, have fun, don't die. Gore Verbinski's return to cinemas after 10 years.
It's been a minute for him. Yeah.
Briarcliff Entertainment.
Right. Yep. Independent studio.
Yep. They got started in the last couple of years, putting out the Jonathan Majors film this past year. But this looks like a lot of fun. First off, I'm a Sam Rockwell mark.
Oh, he's great. He's so good.
But the cast looks awesome. And it looks
trailer was fun.
It looks in the vein of Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Which, I agree. Yeah, it looks just madcap craziness. It looked like there's some time travel element to it, maybe of some type. But that trailer was wild. So
it is a red band trailer for people at home. Don't play it around the kids. So
it is a red band trailer. Yeah. So I'll start with my bottom tier. So I've got I'm not going to talk about all of these just because it would take us forever, but I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I guess I've got 7 just based upon director alone that I would generally, because this director is releasing a movie, be excited for. I think one that I'll mention one, since you mentioned one that has a preview out already. I'll mention one that has a preview out already as well. That being Ready or Not 2 Here I Come.
Yes, that was my next pick anyway. So
Yeah,
go on.
directed by Radio Silence, which is Matt Bettinelli Open and Tyler Gillette, but
Yep.
they go by Radio Silence. They directed the first one. They directed Abigail. So they have a style about them, I
Scream 5
think.
and 6.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a lot of fun.
I think so too.
It's not only bringing back the star of the first one, but it's adding more members to the cast.
Yep.
Adding some. Is it Catherine Newton?
Catherine Newton. Yep.
Adding her. She was
Playing her
also
sister.
She was also in Abigail, so I think she's worked with them before.
Yep.
So yeah, look, yeah, and it's got a trailer, so I wanted to at least mention that. It looks a lot of fun.
To me, the first one ends perfectly.
Yeah.
Which makes me go, well, how do you create a sequel to something that ends so well? Of course, there are always ideas you can come up with. But sometimes, they can be pretty cynical, like, oh, we got to come up with the sequel ideas. But in this case, everyone talking about the movie and everyone around the movie was like, no, someone came up with a pretty brilliant idea, and we said, we got to make that. And so I'm excited to see exactly what that's all about, because the trailer doesn't give, a lot away in that regard.
No. Yeah.
But it somehow involves her sister. So we get Catherine Newton and Samara Weaving together, who are at some point handcuffed together, because we've seen promotional photos with them together.
But it looks
Sarah
like
Michelle Gellar as an evil character.
Yes, she looks great. Yeah, and it's cool because what they're doing is expanding the mythology of this universe that they created.
Yep.
So it's an original IP. But it's cool though, because they created this, and so they can do whatever they want to expand the mythology and make it even more wild. Very similar to what like John Wick did, like expanding their mythology like wildly, 4 films now.
Very similar to Happy Death Day.
Yeah,
to me
exactly.
As well.
Yep, totally.
With Christopher Landon doing Happy Death Day to You and expanding kind of the mythology there.
I hope we get a third one of that.
Eventually, maybe. My next one, I'm going to go ahead and throw this one out.
Okay.
The myth for this film may be bigger and better for what this film winds up being. But it's going to be Coyote versus Acme.
Okay. You're throwing some curveballs at me. I don't necessarily anticipate that film, but
I'm anticipating. After all of the,
after everything it's been through.
Yeah, it kind of makes you want to see it. Is it good? If it's great, you kind of go, well, why did they do that? And if it's not, you go, okay, well.
Yeah. The only reason that I probably am not anticipating that one now, this is more like Space Jam, where it's the Warner Brothers cartoon characters and humans in the same movie. Whereas the other one that Catch Up Entertainment released this year was just animation, and I personally did not like it at all. I know our friend of the show, Jeremy Burgess, loved it, but I personally did not think that it was great. And so I think that tainted my anticipation for Coyote versus Acme a little bit, just because I'm like, I don't think anybody cares about the Warner Brothers Looney Tunes characters anymore. And it's just, it is cool that it is getting a release. I'll say that. I mean, I'm excited for the simple fact that it's getting a release.
Yeah, I don't know that Ketchup is going to do a great job rolling it out, but I'm excited to see it.
Well, they don't have the money to do some huge marketing campaign, so there's that. But I don't know. The next one I'll mention, and this is still like in my bottom tier. So when I say bottom tier, it's like I like anticipate it based upon the director and based upon the star of the film. And this one actually had a trailer come out as well. This one is called Normal. It is a movie directed by Ben Wheatley. So Ben Wheatley, he's an interesting director. He's one of those type of guys that does like 2 for himself, 1 for the studios, 2 for himself, 1, like he'll direct really weird independent films, but then also work well with the studio system. One of my favorite movies of his was Free Fire, just a really unique action flick that he did a couple years back. This one stars Bob Odenkirk in a role that we kind of have gotten from him lately, the last couple years, with his character from Nobody, where you get like a guy that looks like he's a bit of a fish out of water that ends up having to step up in an action type way. And Ben Wheatley does direct action really well. And so I kind of bottom tier anticipate this.
Okay.
It has been seen on the festival circuit quite a bit already, but it's not getting its big release until like April. The preview looked interesting.
I'm skipping around on the timeline a little bit.
Okay. Oh yeah, I'm all over
the
on the timeline. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going past some films that are bigger because I want to save them for last. Like
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm doing.
My next film, and this is the last of the lower tier for me as well, is Digger, directed by
low tier for you,
Alejandro Inarritu.
Wow.
Yeah, well, because I haven't seen much from it. You know,
it's only got like a little 5
optimistic on the film.
Yeah.
You know, I think that there are ways you could go about that really wrong.
It could be an epic failure, but I mean,
yeah, after that little kind of mini teaser came out, and Tom Cruise has some makeup on, clearly his face looks very different, and it's very cured, but it does look very different.
It looked like they wanted to make him look quite a bit older than he is.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm very interested to see where it goes. I think it's an intriguing premise. I like that, you know, Cruise is taking a swing and he's going back and doing some more dramatic acting, but also maybe a little bit comedic as well. You know, I'm interested in seeing it because it felt like kind of maybe an awards play for Tom, but then when you put the makeup on his face, I don't know. That may obscure some of that for him, but we'll see.
Yeah. So I'm going to just mention, these will be the last two I mention in my bottom tier. There's other ones that are in my bottom tier, but these will be the last two that I mention because these are release dates way later in 2026. And so we don't have any trailer or anything from them. But the first one is a movie called How to Rob a Bank, directed by David Leitch, who most recently did Bullet Train, which Bullet Train was awesome. So this one's got a pretty good cast: Nicholas Hoult, Zoe Kravitz, Christian Slater, John C. Reilly, Pete Davidson, Anna Sawai, and that's about as deep as the cast goes. I mean, there's other people in it, but those are like your main people in the cast. Simple premise: bank robbers are posting their heists on social media, causing police to chase them. Now, I would anticipate this having the same energy that Bullet Train had because it's David Leitch. He kind of does that. And but he's not mid-tier or top tier yet for me as a director. I've enjoyed everything that he's directed thus far, but he hasn't like hit that next level for me just yet. And so although I anticipate the movie, I wouldn't call him like mid or high tier for me. And then very, very quickly, just because again, I'm nervous about this one because it's also based, I believe, on a Nicholas Sparks book, if I'm not mistaken, but it's M. Night Shyamalan's next movie called Remain. I just worry about it. I mean, because I'm not a huge like Nicholas Sparks fan. I think this is the one that's based upon a Nicholas Sparks book.
Yeah, I believe it is. Yeah.
Yes, it is. Yeah, he wrote the screenplay as well. Jake Gyllenhaal's in it, and Phoebe Divanor, I guess is how you say Divanor. She's like the co-star of it. I don't know. It makes me nervous. Like I want to be able to put M. Night mid-tier, high tier, but he has such hit or miss movies that you just don't know what you're going to get lately. And so I'm just worried for this. It sounds like there's I'll just read like the quick premise. A grieving architect moves to Cape Cod for work after leaving a psychiatric facility while staying at a historic bed and breakfast. See, that's the Nicholas Sparks junk. He meets a mysterious woman who makes him question his rational beliefs about life and loss. Look, potential is always there with Shyamalan. I mean, he could always give us another Unbreakable or another Sixth Sense, but it's been many years since he's been able to really do that. So I have to leave that in bottom tier. And then, like I said, I had others in there as well, but I'm going to move to mid tier after you go.
Okay, I'll go with something maybe more mid tier for myself. Just to I kind of threw a couple more in there. Just to give myself something that was a little more mid tier. Something I enjoyed doing Christmas Day last year, or not last year, 24. was going to see Nosferatu in the cinemas. In 2026, we get to have a follow up with a similar, genre, same director, Werewolf.
Yeah. Also my mid tier, but yes, Robert Eggers, awesome.
Yeah, Robert Eggers. I'm very excited to do that and maybe go on Christmas Day or maybe Christmas Eve, depending on timing of that. But yeah, it was awesome seeing Nosferatu in a packed house on Christmas Day a little over a year ago. And I'm excited and hope that they can kind of drum up a similar support campaign for Werewolf.
I think so. Christmas. I mean, I think like Gen Pop is starting to understand what this guy's bringing us. Like Nosferatu was successful enough that I think there's going to be some anticipation for Werewolf.
The thing he had going for him was that Nosferatu is a brand. I mean, it is already a brand itself.
That's true.
You could help sell that a little bit. But yeah, I mean, you need to be hitting hard with this is the guy behind this and this and this. And Werewolf is enough that you can sell that going. It's a werewolf movie and it's well reviewed, hopefully.
Yes. My next one, a movie that's actually been in the can, I want to say for 2 years, but Warner Brothers keeps delaying it. And that's Flower Veil Street.
Okay.
David Robert Mitchell's follow-up to It Follows. Like, I don't think he's done anything in between, if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, he did Under the Silver Lake. I always forget that because it was very forgettable. But
Under the Silver Lake.
You liked it?
It was bizarre, but I enjoyed it.
It's bizarre, but it was a bit forgettable. It Follows, on the other hand, not forgettable at all. Great movie. I liked that movie quite a bit. So this is his attempt, I think, at a bigger budget type of film. It involves dinosaurs. It involves the 1980s. So it could be cool. It's expected in August. So August used to be a great summer month, but lately August is kind of like the summer dumping month.
Yeah.
Whereas May, June, and July ends up being your bigger summer films. August dumps them. So Warner Brothers is putting it there for whatever reason. It's got a great cast though. Ewan McGregor, Anne Hathaway. So Anne Hathaway, I swear, has like 5 movies coming out next year. Like, based upon what I was looking at as research, I think she's literally got 5 movies coming out next year. So she's going to be doing the Pedro Pascal. She's going to be the Pedro Pascal of 2026. But
it feels like she's been missing for a bit too.
That's right.
Big cinema.
And like I said, this has been in the can for a couple years. Like, this was supposed to come out, I think, at the end of 2024. And Warner Brothers, for whatever reason, just couldn't find a slot for it. And that's what happens a lot. It's not necessarily speaking to the quality of the film. Sometimes you just can't find a slot in your calendar year when you're a studio and you've got a certain roadmap that you want to build. And, for them, especially in 2025, One Battle After Another was kind of like their big Oscar bait type of movie. And they had a very specific, and Sinners. And so they had a very specific thing that they were trying to release in 2025. So maybe they just wanted to wait, and they didn't want to release another dinosaur movie in 2025 when there was a Jurassic movie coming out. So they just had to move the puzzle pieces a little bit, delayed this one a little bit, but I anticipate this just based upon the fact that, and it looks like David Robert Mitchell wrote it as well. So he wrote the screenplay, he directed it. So, I mean, this is like his baby. And I love stuff that takes place during the 80s. So we'll see. I mean, it's a little bit nostalgia bait for me when it says it takes place in the 80s.
Another mid-tier for me is going to be Hunger Games.
Yeah.
Sunrise on the Reaping.
Yeah. My daughter, very much anticipating this, did not make my list though.
Yeah, so I've watched the first 3. So I never watched part 2 for some reason. I read the first 3 books. I enjoyed them in middle school.
Yeah.
And I watched the first 2 movies and I really enjoyed those. And then I watched the 3rd movie and I don't remember enjoying that one as much. Mm-hmm. And it was also on a date. So I don't know how distracted I was at times, but I never went to see the 4th one. And then I didn't see the 5th one, but this feels like I'm getting in that space where I feel like this is the year where I'm going to catch up on that series.
Yeah, I've got to watch the prequel, which I own it. I just haven't watched it yet.
I do too.
I know. That's the sickness.
Episode before this one comes out.
That's the sickness. Yeah, maybe we need to watch that at some point. So this one, the only reason that I would put this mid-tier versus top tier is because the director. And the director is Aaron Sorkin. Now, you're
Oh
probably
yeah.
thinking to yourself, wait a minute, Aaron Sorkin's a great director. No. He's a great writer. I would not necessarily call him a great director, but he is also writing the screenplay for The
Mhm.
Social Reckoning. Also, when it's a Netflix only film, and I'm sure
Is
it'll
it
get some.
Netflix only?
Well, I was about to say it'll get like a small theatrical release, but it's a Netflix movie. I mean, it's. I think, from what I remember reading about it, I think it's a Netflix film. They're recasting it, so Jesse Eisenberg is not in it.
Yeah.
He is not playing Zuckerberg. Succession Boy is playing Zuckerberg. Not Jeremy Allen
Strong?
White. It's Jeremy Strong.
Yeah.
Jeremy Allen White is playing Jeff Horowitz, who is, I think the story goes that he's the writer he's the Wall Street Journal reporter that blows the whistle on everything.
Okay.
So this obviously takes place several years after. With Aaron Sorkin, he's a great screenwriter, but I'm not with him on the politics side of things. And so I couldn't put this in top tier, but I do think that the cast is a very talented cast. I mean, you've got Jeremy Allen White as the reporter. You've got Mikey Madison. So this is her follow-up after she's won an Oscar. This is kind of her next big movie, is The Social Reckoning. And she's playing the person that blew the whistle on what was going on with the engineering side of things. She's playing Frances Haugen, I think is how you say her last name. She was an engineer at Facebook that blew the whistle on this. Betty Gilpin, Jeremy Strong, again, Jeremy's playing Mark Zuckerberg, Billy Magnuson. So it's got an interesting cast, very talented cast, but I just wish Aaron Sorkin wasn't directing it. I just wish that Fincher would not have been distracted by something else that maybe I'm going to mention in my top tier. But anyways, so that's
and that's
for me. Yeah,
that's a good point. The other thing in your top, I forgot about that one because it's not dated.
Well, it's Netflix also.
So I've never seen The Social Network all the way through.
That's right. We talked about that a little bit.
That
you need to watch
may become an episode at some point.
Good. Like when we find out the release date for this, I don't know if we have a release date on Social Reckoning. No, it doesn't have a release date yet.
Okay.
Expected in October.
And we may have a guest for that one locked in. So
cool. Okay. Awesome.
Social Network.
Great.
So I'm excited about that. My last mid tier. These are just going to be a bunch of big films for the rest of the rest of this for me, because again, some of the smaller films that I'd be interested in or just don't have dates locked in yet, and this is how I do my lists. Next year I may change it up, but I'm gonna go ahead and say Jumanji, untitled Jumanji sequel.
You're really surprising me with the anticipated list here.
I really enjoyed the Dwayne The Rock Johnson, Kevin Hart, Jack Black, Karen Gillan. Always great to watch Karen Gillan.
No, I agree. They're fun movies. They really are.
And and the second one leaves you off on kind of a cliffhanger, and I remember at the time going, oh, okay, I'm excited for the next one. I'll go see the next one. And then it's been so long that I'm kind of like, I really kind of want to see what their thoughts and plans were for this final one.
Yeah.
The director's been distracted doing other stuff.
Well, what's interesting, I mean, this is what Anaconda was trying to do. It was trying to have that Jumanji vibe. So it was hoping that it was going to catch the wave of the success of the Jumanji films, and it did not.
No, it doesn't have The Rock.
It doesn't have. It only has Jack Black
and Kevin Hart and Karen Gillan.
Exactly, and you need all the pieces together.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do another one that has no release date, but we're supposed to get it this year, and this is based upon director alone because I don't care for this IP at all. But I'm gonna say Resident Evil, directed by Zach Cregger.
Yes. How did I not highlight that one? I didn't highlight that one. I agree.
I could care less about the IP, but when you attach Zach Cregger to it, I'm very interested now. So,
well, the thing I like too is that he's such a big fan of the video games, and he has basically said, I'm not going to adapt the video games, because first off, if you want to have that story, you can go play the video games. The movies have already tried to adapt to the video games already anyway. And he's going out there to tell a story in the universe, not conflicting with anything in the video games.
Yeah.
And I think it sounds interesting. It's about a guy who's transporting a heart, I believe, from a hospital to a hospital while the zombie breakout happens. So yeah, I'm very intrigued by it.
Yeah, I had to put like when I saw that. I mean, I remembered that it was coming out this year, but I don't even know that like he started filming it yet. But it's
they are, yeah.
Oh,
There's set photos out there if you want them.
Okay, good. So that I would assume fourth quarter this year we will get Resident Evil. I assume
it's set for September 18th.
Okay, all right, cool.
So I got that one written down already.
Do you have any other mid tier?
I do not.
I'll mention one other mid tier just very quickly. It's an IP that we're all very familiar with, but based upon the fourth film in the franchise, I'm not necessarily considering this a top tier anticipation. That being Toy Story 5. I mean, Andrew Stanton's directing it. He has got a great track record. And so I don't know that I care about a Toy Story 5, but at least the premise of tablets being the bad guy is a bit interesting.
I think the premise is brilliant.
Yeah,
it's all about execution on top of that. And I don't doubt Stanton. I think it's going to be very good, but I don't know why it's just not on my anticipated list.
The only reason that I'm putting it on my anticipated release is because they didn't just go to the well with the director and that they brought Stanton on board. That's kind of like, because they easily could have just said, hey, let's just get the guy that did I don't know, something that was kind of successful for Pixar, but Elemental. Let's get the guy that did Elemental to do this for us. But they went to Stanton, so that's cool. I mean, I think that's good.
Yeah, he's kind of a big pillar of Pixar. You ready for the top tier?
I'm going to go to top tier. I probably will want to mention all of my top tier. So, but I won't mention them like we're not going to go for 5 hours here. I mean, but I do want to at least highlight all my top tier. So you go first, though.
I'm gonna start it out with maybe towards the bottom of my top tier, Project Hail Mary.
That was on the bottom of my top tier as well. Yeah.
I am so excited for that movie. I've not read the book. I have a credit, so I could probably get the audiobook if I want.
I lazy read it.
Okay. You did the audiobook?
I did the audiobook. Yeah, I don't have time to sit and read a book, so I do audiobooks.
But I love the trailers. Obviously, I'm a Ryan Gosling mark, so most things that he's in, I see it and I go, okay, I'm writing that down. I'll see it at some point, whether it's in cinemas or at home. But that's what I'm seeing in cinemas on opening weekend. I'm so intrigued by what is happening in this movie. I don't know what the story is. I kind of want to just go in and watch it without knowing anything. Because sometimes I feel like that's a better experience.
I mean, if you haven't read the book yet, might as well just wait.
Yeah, it's not that far away.
Yeah,
it's March 10th or 20th. And I Phil Lord and Chris Miller have not led me wrong yet.
Yeah.
I haven't seen every one of their movies. I never saw The Cloudy with the Chance of Meatballs.
Oh,
all the other movies I love. So I believe you. I do need to check out Cloudy with the Chance of Meatballs. But Project Hail Mary is next up on my list for them. So
I had 9 top tier, but then like I have 4 really top tier. So I'll just go through my 9. So my 9th top tier was the Project Hail Mary. My 8th top tier, and I almost bumped this down to mid because I wasn't totally in love with the trailer that we got. But I'll keep it in top tier because I trust in what's happening at DC, and I'll keep Supergirl in my top tier.
Okay.
I really like
not on my any tier right now.
Really, I really like the director. They went with an interesting choice with Craig Gillespie. He did I, Tonya, Dumb Money, Lars and the Real Girl. So not a guy that you would have thought that they would have gone to. And so it's intriguing to me that they went with him as the director. I like Millie Alcock.
Yes.
Okay.
I've heard that she's the best part of it and that she gives a fantastic performance. So,
and that's good. That's good to hear, obviously, because she is the star of the film. So that's good to
mm,
hear. What I didn't like about the trailer, and this may not be the fault of Craig Gillespie, because a lot of times with these trailers, the director doesn't necessarily have any input at
it,
all.
yeah, it's a trailer house.
It's a trailer house that's trying to capture what I felt was a Guardians of the Galaxy feel.
They're trying to capture as wide a net and figure out a way to do that. And
Yeah.
they're going with the Guardians.
And so, because James Gunn is the studio head, even though he has nothing but an EP, I mean, I'm sure he was on set or whatever, but he's not the director of the film. And I don't think a lot of people know that. I think a lot of people assume that James Gunn is the director of this movie, and they're doing a bad job of not. I think they need to really spell that out for people, because there's going to be a subset of DC fans that will refuse to go see this based upon the fact that they think James Gunn is the director because they didn't love what he did with Superman. But this is going to be a completely different vibe than Superman, because it's got a completely different director, and this particular comic that the story is based off of is quite dark. And
it's based on Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow by Tom King.
She's a bit edgy in that.
I've not read it. I do actually have it right now, so I can read it, because I kind of want to. I do want to read that one before I go see the movie. But yeah, I've heard it's a bit more edgy than normal.
Yeah.
But that, I mean, I think it all kind of ends in a hopeful spot anyway.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my number 8 of not that I'm doing a list here or numerizing anything. I just happened to write down 9 movies. See, if I was doing a list, I would have written down 10 movies, but I only wrote down 9 on the top tier. So I'm not really doing a list.
Duly noted. Did you want to go through all that until you got to your 4? Because I've got 4 left.
Oh, you've only okay. So until you hear one that you mentioned that's on yours, maybe?
Sure.
Is that what you're saying? Okay. I don't know why I have this in my top tier. I probably shouldn't, but I'm giving it a benefit of the doubt. It's a Star Wars movie, and it's The Mandalorian and Grogu. It's directed by Jon Favreau. I want to be excited. I can't, like, if I'm being honest with myself, I'm probably not as excited as I should be, but I want to be. I want to be excited about it. So I'm forcing myself to put it in my top tier. So we'll see. I mean, I don't know.
That somehow did not make my entire list, and that's wrong. Because
that's wrong. That's wrong.
Every time I watch the trailer, I go, "That's going to be fun." Yeah. I don't think it's going to be anything massive. It's not going to be the greatest Star Wars movie ever, but I do think it's going to be a fun time.
Yeah. This one does not have a release date, but upon research, I'm assured that it's coming out in 2026. And the good news for me is that this particular director has escaped the snares of Netflix. And Jeremy Saulnier's next film is called October. Now, it's a horror film. I would assume that they're trying to have an October date, maybe, but I don't know, maybe not. Really eclectic cast: Stephen Root, Imogen Poots, James Badge Dale, Chase Sue Wonders, Sophia Wilde, Corey Michael Smith, Maddie Matheson from the cooking show, or the cooking, I can't remember it off the top of my head. Really weird cast. No premise. The plot is unknown at this time. So again, this is just based on director alone, because I've liked pretty much all his movies. Green Room and forward. I've really liked all Jeremy Saulnier's movies. So this one's a little, I don't want fans to be insulted here, because this one's a little lower in my top tier, but it is in my top tier, and that's Disclosure Day, Steven Spielberg.
Yeah.
Look, it's Spielberg, and it's got a John Williams score. I mean, it's got to be good, right? I mean, right? I mean, it's good. The preview was actually pretty good. I dug it.
Yeah, I have no idea what's going on in it, but yeah.
I mean, it's obviously aliens, something with aliens. Sure. I mean, sure. And I mean, Disclosure Day.
I don't know what's going on with the faces swapping and the eyes.
Yeah, and the eyes. Yeah. When you title your movie Disclosure Day, the UAP crowd would think that involves the government releasing information that they have.
Seems like
I
a
don't I don't
private
know.
people doing that.
Yeah, I don't know that this movie is what UAP people will want this movie to be. But we'll see. I mean,
UAP people? Is this like a PC way of saying UFO enthusiasts or
yeah,
whatever?
yeah, exactly. This one also does not have a release date. My next one, Disclosure Day does, but my next one, this one again, based on director alone, and he's getting away from IP. He's going back to original stuff. I loved The Guest from this guy, and that's Adam Wingard's next movie, Onslaught. It's going to be awesome. Just because he doesn't, he's out of the studio system. I mean, I think it's getting a major release, but he's not. It's not a Godzilla film. He's doing his own thing, his original screenplay. I love just the randomness of this cast. Also, Dan Stevens. I'm a mark for Dan Stevens, so he's kind of the star of it. Rebecca Hall's in it. Adria Arjona. I mean, come on, we all love Adria Arjona. Reginald Vell Johnson coming back. I did not actually know that guy was still alive, but I'm glad he is. He's the cop from Die Hard, if you don't know who that is. Michael Biehn. I mean, come on. You got Michael Biehn in this thing.
Abyss connection.
Drew Starkey, which, whatever. I don't care about that guy. But soy boy, Drew Starkey. But yeah, he wrote it with his writing partner that he's done a lot of really great stuff with, Simon Barrett. So very much looking forward to that. I had to put that. This one I know will be on your list, so I'll let you talk about it first.
Okay.
Brand New Day.
Oh yeah. So brand new director for Tom Holland's Spider-Man, fourth film in this series, but being taken over by Destin Daniel Cretton.
Yep.
Who did director of Shang-Chi for most of the audience, but for people who also know some of his other films, Just Mercy, Short Term 12, I think also Glass House or The Glass House.
Which Glass House wasn't great.
Yeah, but Short Term 12 was very good.
Yeah.
I've heard great things about Just Mercy. I've not seen it. And Shang-Chi I love. I think it's a really fun movie. The Jackie Chan stunt team kind of directs some of it anyway, but I mean, he does a good job with the emotional stuff there. Yeah. And I'm excited to see. I mean, there's been some stuff online already, but some of his quotes. I'm really excited to see what he does with the film because he seems like just an excited fan taking over this franchise. So,
for the listener alone, who are some of like the new cast members that we haven't seen in other Spider-Man films? Do you have that list in front of you?
Like, not really.
Who's the bad?
Sadie Sink is one of them. We don't know who she's playing.
We don't know who she's playing. That's right.
That's hotly debated every single day on the internet. So don't believe what you read online.
Yeah, I hope, and this is a spoiler alert, I guess, if this is who she is, but I hope she's not Jean Grey.
I hope she is.
You hope she is?
Yes.
I hope she's not. I don't want X-Men with Spider-Man just yet. Just yet.
I'm okay with one X member.
One X member. Okay. All right. That's fair. That's fair, I guess. Anyways, this one
Colonel Tillman, by the way, actually, too.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, yeah, he's great. This one expected in August, so does not actually have a release date, but expected in August. I have to be excited about it because it's a Ridley Scott film, so I have to like at least feign interest, and that's The Dog Stars.
I almost highlighted that.
Yeah. The premise is somewhat interesting, if not one that we've heard many times. In a post-apocalyptic world, a virus wipes out humanity. Survivors face roaming scavengers called Reapers. Protagonist Hig, a pilot, survived the flu, but lost his wife. Starring Josh Brolin, not as Hig. He's a character named Bangley. Jacob Elordi, the current It guy, he plays Hig. Then you've also got Margaret Qualley, who's been in everything recently, it seems. Guy Pearce, Benedict Wong. It's a pretty good cast. I mean, and it's Ridley Scott. Whatever you think about Ridley Scott now versus what he was, I mean, I think he still has the potential to deliver us a good movie. Whatever you think about his most recent output. And then this is kind of my last top tier. Do you know? Isn't this based on a book? I think The Dog Stars. I think it's based on a book.
It might be. I haven't looked it up.
Yeah.
I just have it because it's Ridley Scott on my list. That's the only
exactly.
I've not researched the film at all.
No, this one is the weird one. This is my last of my top tier, but then there's like 4 others that are like my mega tier. But my top,
Okay.
the last
Spider-Man was a part of my mega tier. I'll just
really? Okay. Well, this is the last of my top tier, and I at least want to highlight it just because I don't think anybody realizes that this movie is coming out. But that's The Adventures of Cliff Booth.
Yeah.
Oddly directed by David Fincher.
Yep.
But written by Quentin Tarantino. So Quentin's doing the screenplay.
I'm excited to see the pairing there.
I'm excited to see the pairing, but Quentin's a coward. He should have just directed the thing. He's got this weird, like, he doesn't want to direct more than 10 movies.
Yeah.
And so he wrote a screenplay. What's frustrating is he was passionate enough to write the screenplay, but because of his dumb 10 movie rule that he has self-imposed, he pawned it off to David Fincher. The other very frustrating thing is that this is a Netflix film.
I think he secretly wants Once Upon a Time in Hollywood to have been his last film at this point.
Yeah, probably, but
because it's very good.
Because he's afraid he can't top it. Yeah,
and it's 2026. We're 7 years removed from that film.
So, anyways, Cliff Booth is the character that Brad Pitt played in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So this is a sequel to that. I don't even know if you could really call it a sequel. I would call it just the continuing adventures of Cliff Booth. It's not a direct sequel.
What the movie's called, basically.
Yeah, it's not. But the confusion would be, I wouldn't call it a direct sequel to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be a completely different type of thing that just involves Cliff Booth. And maybe DiCaprio will have a cameo or something, but probably not. I mean, I don't think he did one.
The rumor was that he was writing the movie critic, and the movie critic was going to have Cliff Booth as a supporting actor.
Right.
And it kind of spiraled into being a Cliff Booth script, basically.
Right.
And then that's what kind of got turned into this movie. Yeah. And the movie critic died, and then he gave this to Fincher. My understanding is they want Leo to do a little small bit part in it, but I don't know that they're going to.
I think it happened.
It's not really a thing he does.
Generally not. But man, Tarantino's going through it right now. He's out here insulting actors, and I don't know what his deal is lately, but I am excited about the movie.
He did put out The Whole Bloody Affair finally for public release, basically.
Yeah, which I unfortunately didn't get a chance to go see that theatrically. Just various things happened. I had a ticket
coming to disc, so
yeah, I think it will. I think in February, I think we'll get that from Lionsgate Limited probably. So those are my like top tier, and then I've got like the mega tier level. But so you go ahead and throw some out.
I'll go ahead with my bottom of the mega tier.
Okay.
Dune Part 3.
Yeah. I'm with you on that.
I love Denis Villeneuve. I'm super excited to see what he does. It's such a divisive novel that he's taking on, Dune Messiah. And
is that what he's really doing though?
I think look, he changed things in the first, 2 parts from the first book. I'm sure it will be different enough.
Yeah.
But I also feel like that is what he's adapted, because I think that's what, Zimmer put on like a photo of his desk or whatever when he was working on the score. So it's at least the basis of what they're looking at there.
Yeah. I mean, Timmy recently has said there's a time jump. So he's playing an older
consistent with Dune Messiah, I believe.
Yeah, that is consistent with it. So no, I'm very much. Here's what I don't want. I don't want Doomsday. That's what I don't want. I want Dune to move.
WB's throwing a fit because basically what happened is Disney planted the flag first, and they were on the date first, and so they're throwing a public fit right now. I don't think they'll stick on that date.
I don't think they should.
I think they should move to October, November.
It would be box office suicide, in all honesty, to try and go up against.
It would be bad for both films, but yes, they would be on the worst end, I think.
They'd be on the very worst end of it. That was also in my top tier. I'll go ahead and, since we started already, Avengers Doomsday. I mean, the Russos are back. I mean, it has to be top tier anticipation. I mean,
writers Marcus McFeely and
not
the other writer is
yeah,
Michael
it's not
Waldron.
yeah, Walt, yeah, who does good stuff. He's a great writer. I mean, so I have confidence that this movie is going to blow everyone away. Even skeptics, I
Yeah,
think, are going to be
I think if
surprised
you're
to how good.
open to it, I
Yeah.
think it's going to surprise people. I thought the X-Men trailer that's playing this weekend in cinemas looks really good. You'll
Well, I
see it
think that
tomorrow morning.
yeah, there's two types of skeptics I think that are coming against this film already. You've
Mhm.
got the Russo suck, they can't do anything but
Mhm.
Avengers movies. Look at the crap that they've directed since then. There's no way they can pull this off. And then you've
Mhm.
got the people that just want it to fail just because they're tired of the MCU and they want it to just blow up completely.
Yeah.
So you've kind of got two different camps. But I think that this movie is going to be so good that everybody's going to come together and love it. It's going to be one of those type of situations. Like fandom is going to unite around how good this movie is.
I hope so.
I just have that feeling about it. All right, what else do you have on your list?
I have one left now.
Okay.
And so for this to be my number one, and it's up there kind of tied with Doomsday for me, but I'll go ahead and say it's my number one. The Odyssey, directed by Christopher Nolan.
Oh yeah.
The
Yep.
prologue is fantastic. We talked about it a little bit in previous episodes. The trailer is really good. I'm just excited to see what Nolan does with his blank check, basically off of the back of Oppenheimer. So, I mean, the cast is wide. We don't even know
Yes.
who
Yes, it
everybody
is.
is playing in the cast yet.
Yeah.
Still, so it's gonna be interesting to see how that roll out when they actually start to impress for it. But yeah, I'm super duper excited for the Odyssey.
Yeah, I mean, I got to see the prologue before Avatar, and it was amazing. I mean, it was just it blew me away. And so the fact that it looks like, and I know he's just so good, but it looks like he's using natural lighting a lot.
Mhm.
Like some of those scenes, I was like, is he really just using natural lighting on some of this stuff? Like it just looked so next level. Um, but you know what's surprising is that was not the pinnacle for me.
Really?
I just want the listener to hear me read a couple things here. And I just want you to close your eyes if you're listening to this and just remember how good these movies were when you saw them the first time. Really
Okay.
just kind of like one of them it was next level, but just think about Birdman. Think about
Okay.
how good Birdman was when you saw that the first time. Then really think about The Revenant. Think
Hmm.
about how next level that was. And so I cannot deny Digger as my number one most anticipated film of the
I must
year.
have insulted you by putting in my
You
list. I'm
did.
sorry.
You insulted me. I was shocked because
I
Tom Cruise, it's his time.
Do
Yes,
you
yes.
remember Bardo, False Chronicle of a Handful of Truths?
No, I don't. And I don't want
It
to
was
remember it.
not great.
That's why I didn't mention that movie. I don't.
Fantastic cinematography.
Yeah, no, yeah. Just Tom Cruise though. Yeah, he's getting his honorary Oscar this year, but next year playing Digger Rockwell, he's going to be his hands are going to be on that trophy. I have faith. It's got a great cast. Riz Ahmed's also in it.
Hmm.
John Goodman, Bern Gorman,
Mm.
great character actor. Emma D'Arcy, good actress.
Sandra Hüller. Yeah.
Yeah, Sandra Hewler's in it. Robert John Burke, great character actor. You'll know him when you see him. But the premise is just so interesting. The most powerful man in the world
Yeah.
embarks on a frantic mission. Some would say an impossible mission to prove he is humanity's savior before the disaster he's unleashed destroys everything. Very
Again,
interesting.
I love that premise. And again,
Yes.
that's why I was saying earlier, I think that could either be really, really good or a total disaster.
Yeah.
Depending on how you tackle that.
That first teaser that we got, I loved the
Yeah.
music that they chose.
The gorillas.
I love the poster design. To me, it like harkens back to the 1970s Altman type vibe.
The poster's awesome.
Yeah, the poster's great. I don't know that the title is great, but that's okay.
I think that's his name, right? Like his last name, I'm assuming?
No, it's his first name.
Okay.
His last name's Rockwell.
Digger Rockwell. Okay.
Digger Rockwell. Yeah, exactly. So his first name's Digger. Not great title, but that's okay. That's fine. I'll look past that, but I cannot deny that Tom Cruise finally being separate. Not that I didn't love the Mission Impossible films, and not that I didn't love Maverick, but this is an original story. Tom finally getting back to his acting roots, doing something different. So I'm very much anticipating that movie being good. Looks like it's getting an October release, so we'll see. We got a ways to wait for it, so we'll see.
Yeah, I'm excited for 2026 in general. I think it's going to be a great year for cinema. There's already a lot of buzz for a lot of movies. I mean, Project Hail Mary is getting a lot of buzz, and we're a couple months out from that. I'm totally excited. Where can we find you on social media, Mikey?
Yes, definitely. I am on X at the Michael Nip. I am also on Letterboxd at the Michael Nip. I will faithfully continue to log the movies that I watched this year. And although I don't have a goal of a number of films, I wouldn't mind having more than 180. So we'll see if I hit that.
I don't have a goal myself, but you can find me on Letterboxd at grifen or on Twitter at grifen3, GRYFUN3. You can find us on social media, Instagram at Cinema Debrief, Twitter on Cinema Debrief, Threads Cinema Debrief. You can find and email us if you want access to our Discord or you want to send us some comments, thoughts, whatever, at cinemadebriefpod@gmail.com. I don't have a goal, like I was saying, for my logging this year, but I kind of want to do an MCU rewatch for myself. I have not watched the MCU all the way through since 2019. So,
wow.
It feels like it's starting to be the time to, look, there's plenty of not great in the last few years. Be good to revisit some of that and go, yeah, maybe that isn't so great. And revisit the old and say that is great.
Interesting question then. Since we know Endgame is getting a re-release.
Yeah.
Would you try and watch everything up to the point of Endgame and then go see that in the theater instead of watching it at home?
I'm going to be honest with you. I think I will be ahead of that by that
you'll be a little bit. Okay.
So that I can make it to December for the rest of the movies.
So Endgame is getting its re-release in September? Is that right?
Yes, but I will go see that.
Yeah.
And go see it with some friends because they were interested in doing that. So.
Well, the rumor is that there's a new tag at the end of it.
Well, people are creating that rumor, yes. I want to caution people. I think that they'll probably put a clip at the end of the movie, probably like something they did with Acolyte at the end of, Phantom Menace re-release or something.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's going to be an actual real new stinger on the film or anything. So,
man, but wouldn't that be crazy?
I'm excited for 2026, but I'm also excited for next week.
Yeah.
You can catch us talking about The Day of the Jackal from 1973. We'll see you guys next week for the debrief.